Thank you for joining us on today's podcast of our program. And today we're going to take a look at something very important and one organization that some may know and some know, and that is the Middle Belt Forum. We'll be talking about what it is and also the trending issues relating to the Middle Belt. What qualifies one to be a member of the Middle Belt Forum? My name is Yakubu Tadi. I have the pleasure of having in the studio Reverend James Palm.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. I understand you are a Director of Research and Culture.
No, I'm the Middle Belt Forum Director of History and Culture.
History and Culture.
Yes.
That's very interesting. Well, what history are you looking at?
The history of the Middle Belt people, basically is the history of the Middle Belt people. But, history goes with culture, it goes with land and traditions and equipment, utensils and things like that.
Okay, let's put it in perspective.
Yes.
Who qualifies or what area qualifies for a Middle Belt? Because I've had arguments to say, is it a Christian organization or is it an organization for indigenous people? Who belongs to the Middle Belt Forum?
Okay, that issue has come up many times, and people have even said it's a Christian organization. It is not. The Middle Belt is a description of a geographical area. Now, we normally say there is a political Middle Belt, there's a geographical Middle Belt. But when we say Middle Belt, the geographical area covered has parts of, or the whole of, 14 states in Nigeria and the FCT. The states that it has, the whole states included are 8. Niger, Kogi, Kwara, Plateau, Benue, Taraba, Adamawa, Benue. Then those states that have portions of them in the Middle Belt are Gombe, Yobe, Bauchi, Kaduna.
This is Northwest. There are some in the Northwest and there are some in the Northeast.
Yes. The classification of Northeast, Northwest, North Central, and the others in the South, unfortunately, they appear to have been designed to try and obliterate the identity of the Middle Belter. The Middle Belt people are a people and they have their land. These demarcations of North Central, Northeast, North didn't follow tradition, culture, and we don't even know what the basis is. Professor Yusuf Turaki has done a lot of work on it, and it looks as if Sokoto simply wanted to have some Middle Belters attached to them. Kano simply wanted to have some tribes, minority tribes, Middle Belters with them. Maiduguri. If not, what business has Taraba got to do in the Northeast? Absolutely no business of Taraba to be in the Northeast. Taraba is more south than Benue or Plateau. How come it is in the Northeast? The only reason is to give these people, attach these people to Maiduguri. We have a definition of the Middle Belt, official definition, which we used in our constitution. We normally say the Middle Belt is the people and that in that geographical entity that was not subsumed by the Sokoto Caliphate or the Kanem Borno Empire as at the date of the amalgamation in 1914. So the Middle Belt identity goes back to 1914. They were independent states, independent city-states and communities, and governing themselves as at 1914. They had not been captured or defeated in wars. The Usman Danfodio jihads, they had not been captured, and they cover these 14 states that I mentioned and the FCT. Parts of these 14 states, like Kaduna, the northern parts of Kaduna had been captured up to Zaria. But southern Kaduna had not been defeated. Plateau had never been defeated, attacked but not defeated. Benue was never defeated, attacked but not defeated. And we know that parts of Bogoro local government, Tafawa Balewa, Das, were affected by the Usman Danfodio jihads.
So how do you make people believe that this is not religious?
Because within this geographical area, we have a multitude of faiths. We have Christians, we have Muslims, and we have traditionalists, those who observe the African traditional religion. And in the Middle Belt Forum Exco, we have a Muslim. We have the vice president is a Muslim. And we have other directors that are Muslims.
So it's quite interesting because the narrative out there, yes, it seems to give it a religious coloration. And some people, even within a Plateau State or somewhere, you find some people wouldn't want to identify, believing that there's a... So what is the struggle for the Middle Belt?
Let me just deal with that religious issue. The truth is, the idea of carving out an area in this part of the country was mooted way back in 1909 by a journalist. He was the editor of the African Herald newspaper in London. And he suggested to Lord Lugard, in view of the clashes between the Muslims and the Christians in his administration, why not carve out an area called Central Area? The colonial administration didn't buy it. Again, there is a Mr. Temple who also attempted the same thing in 1911. And then it came up again in 1914. There was another suggestion by missionaries. We're very familiar with Kalkum.
Yeah.
Kalkum is one of the founders of the present Kokin Church. When he arrived actually in Lokoja, he decided to go and see Lord Lugard in Zungeru. And he told him he was coming to plant Christianity somewhere around the Wase Hills. And Lord Lugard said, nope, I have an agreement with the Mohammedans, as Muslims were called, that Christian missionaries will not be allowed to preach to Mohammedans. And so this idea of an area, central part of the country that became predominantly Christian grew. But there have always been Muslims in all the states. From Kwara, in fact, some of the founding members, like Ijimu, way back in the 40s and 50s, was a Muslim. In fact, he traveled and worked with Alhaji Aminu Kano in Kano, with Haji Agambo Sawaba in Kano. So the religious toga is misconstrued. Is misconstrued. But today, as you said, the second part of your question is, what is the struggle of the Middle Belt people? The struggle is captured in the Middle Belt Forum logo. The Middle Belt logo says, our people, our land, our heritage. Now, if those become slogans or words that are captured in the motto, it means these are the areas of concentration. The people, the land, and their heritage. If they become focal, it means somebody is challenging them. Yes, somebody is challenging the people, the demography. Somebody is trying to tamper with it, and we have to resist it. This part of the Middle Belt struggle, to make sure that your demography is not removed from the land or displaced or harassed. The land itself. I don't know whether you've heard that statement, a statement that says, a people without land is not a people. A people without land is not a people. Therefore, every community has land attached to it. And we didn't start, it's not human beings, it's God himself. As a Christian, I study the Bible, I believe the Bible. And in the Bible, in the book of Acts, chapter 17, verse 26, one powerful verse says, and from one man, that is Adam, God created all nations. And he decided when each nation will appear on the surface of the earth and when it will disappear. And also decided its geographical demarcations. So that word nations is a translation that from one man, Adam, God created all nations, is the Latin word. The Latin Bible called the Vulgate had that word translated into nations. The Latin word is natio. The best translation for it into English is ethnic nationalities, or the common street word for it is tribe. Tribe, language. And God is the one who created each tribe, and for each tribe, he gave land, a geographical demarcation. The Middle Belt people realize that they are associated with land. A community is always associated, and therefore they will not let that. Then the heritage, culture, it should be passed on. There are value systems that we need to pass on from generation to generation. There are things from history that we need to preserve. How we build our houses, how we bury our people. We wouldn't like that heritage to die.
Well, there is dynamism in life.
Yes.
And you would understand that globalization also has certain. That's
Yes.
why you find people going to other countries and become citizens and all of this. Do the people have a clear understanding? Do the MB have a clear understanding of this dynamics of nature?
Sure. And you can't run away from it. It comes, it hits you, and you cannot say no. Very simple. The people of the Middle Belt are slowly losing their mother tongues. There is a tribe in southern Bauchi, I think it's in Bogoro local government. The last time I came across the data, there were only 14 old people who could speak the dialect. Their children could hear it, but they couldn't reply a single word. That is happening. Then dressing, culture. You are a Birom man, I'm a Birom man. And we definitely saw the way our people were dressing barely 60 years ago. Barely 60 years ago. I saw our people using what the locals have called godo over their shoulders. I saw our women covering the front parts of their bodies and the back part with leaves. I remember it was my grandfather, Gongom, the second Gongom, Rangpam, who fought that thing. He told Birom women, don't ever come into town again with those leaves. Make sure you cover yourself. And so there's been influence of outside, what we call external influences, affecting the dressing, affecting the language, and definitely education is changing a lot of things. Medicine, we're losing our traditional medicine people. Do you still know any traditional in Birom land? No, I don't know a single medicine man in Birom land. But they used to be powerful medicine men. Take this part of the Taraba to Benue part of the Middle Belt. It had this very powerful confederacy called the Kwararafa Confederation. It covered from that area almost bordering with Enugu, Lokoja, Ilorin. In war, they defeated Zaria and Kano. If you go to Zaria and Kano today, it's what's called Tudun. Not Tudun Nupa, Tudun Jukunawa. Tudun Jukunawa. Now that confederacy had a very strong, powerful, traditional religion. In fact, the leader of the Kwararafa was both a traditional ruler and a spiritual leader. He was a medicine man. You might call him a prophet or call him a what? Very powerful.
Okay.
And the medicine used to work.
Okay, it brings me to the question of one trending issue recently. A statement issued by the Middle Belt Forum.
Yeah.
The Kwararafa, both religious
Yes.
and traditional. Now, there's a legislation before the National Assembly, the Senate in particular, talking about the role of traditional rulers in specific role in the Constitution, National Traditional Rulers Council.
Yes.
And there has been an uproar about it. What exactly is the Middle Belt Forum looking at?
Thank you very much for that question, because that is a current issue being discussed across the country. Thank God, the promoter of that bill is our own man, former governor of Plateau State, today Senator Simon Bako Lalong. He is the one who presented that bill to the National Assembly last year in August. It went through first reading. In March this year, it went through second reading. Unfortunately, something happened last week. First of all, the Hausa nation issued a press statement that there were some things inserted in the bill that were obnoxious to them. And before we knew it, it came to us too, and the Middle Belt Forum said, oh, if it's there, we won't touch it. But is it really there? So what we did in the Middle Belt Forum was to go back and look at the bill itself, and it's available. The bills under discussion in the National Assembly are public documents. You can go to the National Assembly website and get them. Yes, you can actually talk to legislators and they'll give you a copy. So we downloaded copies of some of these bills, and I went through the bill. The bill was presented by Lalong, and it says, you know why he did it is because there has been a clamor for many years to give traditional rulers constitutional recognition.
Is that a good move by him?
It's a good move. I think generally Nigerians agree that the traditional rulers should be given a constitutional role. They're being used. They are important in the society. We use them to settle issues. We respect them, but they don't have a constitutional recognition. Whereas they are in all our societies, and they're very powerful people. They can actually do and undo. The traditional ruler says, no, that man is not running for Senate. The party will have a problem. The candidate will have a problem. So why don't we give them their role? We've been using them.
But that's not the issue. The issue now is that the statement that came up.
Yes.
And I've had a prior conversation with you.
Yes.
You shared
the issue that came up, it was the Hausa nation that first raised the alarm that in the bill, there is a provision that the chairmanship of the National Council of Traditional Rulers will be held jointly by two people, permanently. And these two people will be the Sultan of Sokoto and the Oni of Ife. The two of them will be joint chairmen permanently. Nobody else can be a chairman. That rattled everyone who came across it. What is it? Are you trying to say that the Sultan will represent all northern traditional rulers and the Oni will represent all southern traditional rulers? No way. That's obnoxious and unacceptable. It's an assumption. But when we looked at the bill, we didn't see that provision in there. And the social media has gone haywire discussing it. But have a look at the copy of the.
But would the MBF now apologize to Lalong for
now? Yes, what I did yesterday was to go online. I'm not very tech savvy, but I did my best to fact check, and we are in the process of fact checking. I gave it to AI. I asked AI to fact check for me, confirm the details of that bill, and AI came back saying it's not there. I downloaded the bill, printed it out, and I couldn't find it. I actually rushed through to see, and I only saw the National Traditional Rulers Council will have a chairman. That's what it says. And a secretary. It's the State Council of Traditional Rulers that will have a chairman and two deputy chairmen. And it says, because each state has 3 senatorial districts. If the chairman comes from one senatorial district, the 2 vice chairmen should come from the other 2 senatorial districts. But there's nothing like that at the national level. And so this rumor, for now, let us call it a rumor, because we haven't seen it in black and white anywhere. It will be very important if the mover of that bill, if the promoter of that bill would speak up.
He issued a statement.
I saw a copy of that statement last night. I looked for a signature. I didn't see a signature on it. There was no signature. Purportedly issued by his PA,
Special Advisor Media.
Special Advisor Media.
Yes.
He didn't sign it. And his principal, Senator Lalong, did not sign it. Additionally, there was another letter that circulated in the social media, purportedly written by the chairman of the coordinating committee of the National Traditional Rulers Council. You know it exists already.
Yes.
There is already a National Traditional Rulers Council, and it has a coordinating committee. The chairman is the present Etsunupe. A beautiful letter came out with logos at the top that he issued a rebuttal to the rumor that the Sultan and the Oni will be joint chairman. He didn't sign it. That letter is not signed. Now, for now, let us assume it's fake news. It's a rumor. Even that letter purportedly from the Etsunupe, for now, I'll take it as fake news. The letter purportedly written by Dr. Machams, the press secretary of Senator Lal, I will assume, because not signed. The document is not signed. I would urge Senator Lalong to please come on air as quickly as possible. If possible tonight, he should go to one of the national television stations and just sit down there for 3 minutes and just say, look, here's a copy of the bill. I never included anything like that. And that's all. 1 minute and he can go and rest and the whole country will go quiet.
So what would you say to him if he says that? Because already your forum has taken a position about that and also alleging that this is what he did.
Yeah, the forum is still looking at it, and if we have to retract, we will retract. If we have to retract, we will. We are an organization that is law-abiding, and we will respect Nigerians. We will respect Nigerians. We would be sad to misrepresent anything before Nigerians.
Okay,
I would agree.
Let's look at it. North and South, there are 6 geographical regions. There's perhaps some people have also said there are fears. If it's not written in black and white, a rotation of chairmanship between the geographical regions will become a problem. It's just like what we have in Nigeria. When you talk about the presidency, they will tell you the North and the South. But other people in the North are not given that opportunity, may not have the chance to get that. And so the same thing with other people in the South. Wouldn't it have been better to have it, the 6 geopolitical zones as defined in the Constitution?
Not a bad suggestion. By the time the National Traditional Rulers Council is constituted, I expect the law, the act establishing it, should specify the procedure for the election or appointment of a chairman. So your suggestion is a good one. The law could specify that the chairman should come from one of the 6 geopolitical zones and it should be rotated, and also the tenure. Good idea, not bad at all. I would add to your idea to make it sweeter. Let there be a chairman elected by the members among themselves, and let there be 6 deputy chairmen from each of the 6 zones, to avoid what happened when, unfortunately, our one-time president, Yaradua, died. The presidency moved from the north of Nigeria to Goodluck Jonathan from the south, and there was a lot of issues about it. If there can be a deputy chairman from each of the zones, the deputy chairman will step in when the chairman from that zone, for any reason, vacates the office. It will help. And so that rotation thing will be there and nobody will feel cheated. Our turn is coming to head the organization. And on any given day, we have a deputy chairman. That's a powerful position. And when our chairman is ruling, is reigning, and something happens to him and he cannot continue in office, the deputy chairman from our zone simply takes over and finishes his tenure. Simple.
Well, so let
me say it again. The bill is silent on some of these details. I have a problem with the bill.
Okay.
It's silent. Even on the Constitution, who is a member, can become a member of the National Traditional Rulers Council? It's not specified.
There will be room for a public hearing, because in that statement sent by Senator Lalong's special advisor on media, there will be room for public hearing.
It should be good.
So I'm sure the Middle Belt Forum will be prepared and armed with its position to make contributions to that.
Yes.
But let's talk about other issues. The Middle Belt area particularly, so to say, has become like a theater of war, blood flowing every day and every time. Have you put forward a suggestion, or what is your thinking about bringing this to an end, or solutions that can be proffered?
The Middle Belt Forum president has been speaking on it, and I think he spoke last week on it, and his statement is in the public domain. The Middle Belt believes there is a deliberate attack on its people by a particular tribe in Nigeria. And we also believe that the government is not using its machinery of curtailing this thing to curtail it. It's been the same thing from Kebbi to Kwara to Niger to Taraba, Benue, Plateau. If anything, it's a clear case of genocide because it's a tribe.
Is it criminal elements within a tribe or a tribe?
Yes, I agree. It's not good to stereotype everybody within a tribe. The tribe is large. It's the Fulani tribe, and it's estimated members, 16 million members, cannot all be terrorists or killers, but there are bad eggs among them. Like the English would say, one bad apple and the whole bunch can be described as useless. Throw it away. It's one tribe, and that's important. They are attacking certain tribes, and that is also important, and that's why we label it as genocide. There's a definition of genocide. The United Nations has a definition for genocide. When there is an attempt to eliminate a group of people for whatever reason, be it religious or just an ethnic squabble. And what we've witnessed in the last 20 years or so is that the Fulani tribe have attacked some of the Middle Belt tribes, and they are occupying land. These people had to move. The Irigwe people in Bassa local government of Plateau State have virtually left the whole of their farmlands. They are in Jebu Bassa, in Jebu Miango, they're in Miango, they're in Rukuba. Some of them are here in Jos, in Busabuji, squatting. Now, and the Fulanis are there with their cows, cattle, grazing. So this is an attempt to displace particular tribes. We've seen villages in Riom local government, in Mangu local government, attacked over and over and over. And the people have had to move.
But do you see this?
There are 3 massive IDPs, internally displaced persons camps, which the Plateau State governor yesterday donated bags of rice. If I'm right, about 120,000 just yesterday.
Okay, we need to look at the solution in wrapping up. To your mind and to the Middle Belt Forum.
Yeah.
What can we do to end this? There must be a handshake. We live in a society. We cannot live in isolation out of Nigeria. So what would be the best thought you have that, yes, we can also recalibrate and live as we were?
The federal government has responsibility. The cardinal responsibility of the government is the protection of life and property of the citizens of this country. The federal government is failing. That's the first thing. Let the federal government curtail this menace that is going on. They have the machinery to do it. And over and over and over and over again, we have even accused the agents of government, our soldiers and our police officers, security men, of complicity, because it would be happening right under their noses. The Rukuba Army Barracks is here, is in 3rd Division. And these people are living right behind the barracks. And they are attacking right behind the barracks. And the soldiers from Rukuba Barracks, 3rd Armored Division, never come out. Or they always come out late. I put the first responsibility on the federal government. Then our people have been talking about self-defense. But that's a last-ditch move to defend yourself.
Or state police.
But the government, I want the government to be honest and to be serious and to stop it. There's a quotation, true or false, that is attributed to late head of state General Abacha, that if a skirmish, a crisis lasts more than 48 hours, government is complicit in it.
We'll have to end it at that point, because when you talk to a historian, you have so much to talk.
Just if you would give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Because there is, among these bills in the National Assembly, they are going to amend the Constitution of Nigeria. There is another one that is very sensitive. People are equally talking about it, and that's the Citizenship Bill.
Can we have that as a point of conversation next time?
Good.
Because it's one clear area of interest to not just us, but every Nigerian.
It's all right.
Thank you very much. On the conversation today, we've had the privilege of having Reverend James Pam. He's the Director of History and Culture, Middle Belt Forum. Thank you for your time, and we do hope to have you again.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you. Any day. You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That's the much we can take. Next time we have another interesting personality.